Well, hello from a very wintry Glencoe. I've parked at the National Trust here. This is the turf house, which they built a couple of years ago, which is really nice. If you're ever here, come and have a look at the turf house. But I'm not going to do any photography here today. What I'm planning on doing is I'm going to go heading up this mountain here called Meall. So come and join me and let's see if we get some sunset on Meall. Yeah, so once you've parked at the National Trust, then you've got to walk up through the forestry, and it's not long, it's just a little bit sort of swishbacks, and then eventually it starts opening out and you start getting some beautiful views of Glencoe. And what I've got behind me, there's not a great shot here, but I've got Sgurnafianni and I've got the Papa Glencoe, Sgurnakis, and you see this beautiful light I've got on it, and that's because the sun is coming up over Meall and sort of guiding its way down into the glen itself. So that lovely light is what I'm looking for, and it's got real potential. Like I say, we had that snowstorm earlier on and I thought, oh, this is going to be a waste of time. But if the light stays like that and goes a bit golden, that's even better. And we've had a dusting of snow. I think tomorrow we've got some big snow forecast, which the skiing season will be hopefully getting a go ahead. But what that's done with the mountains, with this lovely, beautiful brown sort of bracken that's all died over the winter, it's given that kind of lightened up a little bit, like a little coating of sugar across the top, which gives it that real nice colour to it. It's a real deep depth brown to it, which is what you don't usually get this time of year. Cool, okay, I'm going to carry on. It's a bit of a slog. I brought the sticks with me today just because I know it's a bit of a slog, and we'll head up through a little bit higher up. So I'm just coming out the trees now, which is nice. The views are really starting to open up. Behind me I've got the Papa Glencoe there, look at it. A beautiful light there. In fact, I wish I was at the top now, because actually that light's pretty good. And I've probably got about an hour and a half to get to the top, so hopefully it'll stay in there. There's a bit of blue sky knocking about, there's a few clouds as well, but yeah, just at the minute, the path is looking fantastic, isn't it? Okay, let's rush on up there, shall we? Now, it's important when you're on these photography trips to look at the whale. And if you watch my video on composition is all in the mind, you'll know what I'm talking about. So I found a beautiful bench. The light's amazing. Just looking at the glen from a different angle. It's really important to make sure you always look at the whale when you're on a photography trip. Yeah, okay, so I've got to this section. I've got the mast up there to the right hand side. It carries on up onto this ridge over here. So this is Meall, and it goes all the way across the ridge, and you get this lovely craggy section, and we're going to try and get over the other side of that, and that'll give us this beautiful vista looking down the glen. It's lovely to sit here and see a different sort of viewpoint from the glen. It's actually amazing. I didn't realise how high and how steep that glen rises throughout. I've done it on a bike, so I should really know, but from this angle the glen looks really steep, and actually when you're driving it doesn't feel steep at all. So I've got to try and get on this ridge here. Now I've got this slog section, so there's a bit of a steep section. Then once I'm up on the ridge, I'm all right. It's pretty flat all the way across to the edge there. So yeah, I'm going to head on further on round. I'm a bit against the clock here. I can see the sun is sort of setting a little bit. So I'm probably going to have to beast it a little bit here. And I've put way too many clothes on again. It's just because it said it was going to be really cold today, but it's actually not cold at all. So I'm sweating again. Oh dear. Anyway, let's go and make a run for it and see if we can get up to the top pretty quick before the sun sets. Yeah, okay, so I've just gone over the top. The mast is right in front of me here. And what happens is the road carries on. It's going to end up going into Ballachulish eventually when they dig it through, which is going to be a great mountain bike route. But just after the turning for the mast, you see a little like lay-by on the left-hand side. And then you look at the Meall moor itself, and that's when you have to do the bit of a slog. So get to this little lay-by, and then you just basically walk up the ridge, and that gets you to the top. So keep heading up the way. It's a bit of a slog, but then you get to this deer fence. Now the temptation is to head that way towards Glencoe, but that's the wrong way. So what you've got to do is you've got to keep that deer fence on your left hand side and just follow it all the way up, and eventually you'll come to a sty, and that allows you to turn off to the left. So when you get to this spot, don't be tempted to head on towards the glen, because that's the most common sense place to go. Head a bit higher up, and then that gets you up onto the top there. When you get to this point, you start seeing back down the loch as well, so the views just get better and better, as normal. But all of a sudden Ballachulish and Loch Leven and Loch Linney open out as well, so you've got beautiful vistas looking both sides of you, and it's just absolutely stunning the higher up you get. Okay, let's head up to the deer fence and let's see what we can find. Yes, I've come to a little bit of a quandary here. Not sure what to do, to be honest. So I can carry on up to the top if I show you around. So I've got to get up onto that ridge there. Probably got about another 40 minutes, which I'll just about make. But as I pan around, you'll see it's just all cloud here. Absolutely for miles cloud. And that's where the sun is. So I don't quite know what to do, because I could beast myself up there, and it's looking highly unlikely I'm going to get anything. There's a bit of light looking down the way, so I might be tempted to really change my mind here and go and take a shot of Ardnamurchan with the beautiful light on the mountains over across there. I think I'm wasting my time getting up there and not going to get anything. What I might do is I'll fly the drone up, and let's get up high, and I can actually have a look at the glen itself and see if it's worth it. But as it stands at the minute, it's just too much cloud there, and that's not going to shift in like 40 minutes or so. Okay, let me get back to you. I'm going to fire this drone up and see if I can find some good comps up there, and if not, I'm going to have to change my plan. Well, for once, I'm a bit lost for words. I'm not grabbing anything from the drone. I've got a nice little shot looking down the glen, because the light actually at Ardnamurchan was really nice. So what I've done is I've got a composition that's probably going to work for me. I've just lifted the drone up a little bit higher. It's more of a distant shot, but the light on the mountains over Ardnamurchan was fantastic. It really was. It was like beautiful golden with the snow as well. There was no light around us whatsoever, even in the glen, even looking now. It's all clouded over, so it just didn't work for me. So it's a bit of a fail, but I've enjoyed myself being out anyway. But what I've done is I have lined up this shot, so I'll see how we get on. I'll probably do it as a panoramic, but it's a drone shot just to see if it works. Actually, a big long telephoto lens would have been useful as well, to be honest, but I just didn't have one today. So I like this drone shot. The golden light is just fantastic. So if this shot works, here's the image. Okay, well that photo was a bit average really, wasn't it? So I was a bit disappointed. It seemed to be quite a lot of effort just to get that. So I was a bit gutted really, to be honest with you. Anyway, the next day it snowed all day, and then we're now on the following Wednesday, so the day after. And I just felt I'd shortchange her a little bit with that video. So I thought what I'd do is I'd come and finish the video by coming to Antor or Signal Rock at the bottom of the glen. The light's supposed to be okay. I've got about an hour to sunset, and hopefully that light will be a similar sort of orientation as it would have been on the top of Meall Moor. It would have been nice being at the top, but it never happened. So I'm going to go to Signal Rock. We're going to head on down here and hopefully get a nice river flow with some nice light looking on the Annickdhu and maybe Scunnaffianny as well. Excellent. Okay, so what I've done is I've come on down and I've just come off the track that heads towards Signal Rock just before the bridge. I'm heading down and I've got to the River Coe here. And it gives you this beautiful vista, the Annickdhu, the Annickega here, which the light's starting to look really good on it. And I've got the River Coe here, which makes for a great leading line. There's a bit of a drop off here coming down and it kind of surrounds me a little bit. And I think that's going to be a really nice location. So I'm going to head on down there and see if we get a good composition there. Oh. Now, any of you landscape photographers will know how pigging frustrating it can be at times. Oh dear, you do have to work for it sometimes. Anyway, I'm waiting for the sunset. I've lined the shot up and the composition works really well. But the light's just not here. It's just not coming. And it's died. I've got about 2 minutes to go before the actual official sunset. There's nothing. It's as flat as a pancake. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a really super slow shot. So this is about a minute shot, just to see if I can get some character in the sky and some character in the foreground to give some interest to this shot. It's not exactly going to be portfolio because there's just no colour there, but it might even end up going black and white. But anyway, we'll try. So if this shot works, here's the image. Yeah, so that was a bit more filler than killer again, I'm afraid. This week, twice the weather's killed me, and the light all around me has been fantastic. It's just where I wanted to shoot. But hey, some days you get good light and some days you don't. So what I've actually done is, that photo's okay, and I know when I get back home, it'll be all right, average at best. So I think what I've done is I've thrown the drone up to get some B-roll, but actually when I was up there, it looked really nice. I really like that leading line of the River Coe and the beautiful turquoise colour as well. So what I ended up doing was I lifted the drone up and I've taken 6 images, and what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to have a go at stitching them together, and I think that will make for quite an interesting shot. Just having that height and the leading line in the river and that blueness just really makes it really pop. So I'm going to go home, I'm going to stitch these images together, and if this works, here's the shot from my drone. that was okay, weren't it? It worked out. I think I pulled it out of the bag a little bit there. I was getting a bit worried I hadn't got anything to show you. I think the first 2 images were okay, but that drone shot was really good, so I'm really pleased with that. Now, do me a favour, head on down, give me the old thumbs up as usual. I was going to ask you this. It really does make a big difference to the channel. And if you really like my content, head to the subscribe button. I'll show you more sort of locations around beautiful Glencoe. Now, we do offer tours. That's the main part of the business. So if you're up in Glencoe and you want somebody to come and take you around, we do look at a half day or a full day or a few days. It's up to you. And we'll even build workshops for you. We've built it for other companies, so we will build workshops for you if you want to come up here, if you're a camera club or even an adventure company from overseas or something like that. We do that. We've done it for Unts Photography just recently for a load of Americans, and we will build the tour bespoke for you guys. So check me out if you're in the area. Come and have a look at me. And actually, while I'm plugging on, I'm going to overplug here, but I forget to say all the time, but I've got my galleries at the Ballahoolish Visitor Centre. It's a lovely little gallery. Go and have a look at it. So if you're ever in Ballahoolish near Glencoe, pop into the Ballahoolish Visitor Centre. You'll see my photos. You'll probably see me pouring a cup of coffee every now and again. We do sort of cafe and gift shop as well there as well. So we do the full works. Well, nothing more to say, but thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.